Hey everyone. All right, so get this. Today we're going to deep dive into the Google Pixel 8a.
Ooh, the 8A, that's the one that's making a splash, right? Sort of like flagship features, but without the price tag shock.
Exactly. And we've got this awesome review from TechWise Corner to help us break it all down.
Love those guys. They get into the nitty-gritty.
They do. So first impressions, design-wise, TechWise Corner is talking about this Obsidian finish.
Obsidian, huh? That sounds, well, it sounds kind of cool, like mysterious and sleek.
Right. And get this, it's also IP67 rated.
Wait, IP67 for a mid-ranger, that's a big deal. Means you can practically take it for a swim.
No more phone anxiety at the beach, right? And the screen, oh my gosh, 120 hertz OLED.
Okay, no, that's just showing off a little bit. Buttery smooth scrolling, I bet.
Totally. Though, tiny little nitpick from TechWise Corner, they thought the bottom bezel could be a tad slimmer.
Yeah, there's always got to be one little thing, right?
Always. But okay, let's talk power. This thing has the Tensor G3 chip and 8 GB of RAM.
Whoa, that's serious muscle for a mid-range phone. I mean, what does that even translate to for, like, everyday use?
Right, so basically from what I'm reading, it means no more lag, like at all. Apps open instantly, gaming is smooth, you can multitask like crazy.
So it's basically a little pocket rocket. And on top of that, Google's promising, get this, 5 years of security updates and 3 major Android version upgrades.
That's huge. Most phones don't even come close to that. And big bonus, no bloatware.
Yes, that clean, pure Android experience, TechWise Corner always appreciates that.
Me too. And of course, we got to talk about the AI features. Call screen and hold for me are still some of my favorites.
Genius, pure genius. Google using AI to solve those little everyday annoyances. I mean, seriously, who likes waiting on hold?
Preach. Okay, are you ready for this? The camera. This is what Pixels are known for, right? We're talking a 64 MP main sensor, ultra-wide lens, and a 10.8 MP selfie camera.
Those are some impressive specs. But you know what really caught my eye in the TechWise Corner review? They were raving about Google's computational photography.
Oh yeah, it's not just about the hardware.
Exactly. They said the Pixel 8a captures incredible detail, even in low light. Night sight on this phone is apparently insane.
And they highlighted real tone, too, which helps capture more accurate and inclusive skin tones. That's really cool to see.
Absolutely. It shows that Google's thinking about, making sure everyone looks their best in photos. And then there's Magic Eraser. That things like magic.
Yeah.
You need to get rid of something distracting in your pic. Poof. Gone.
It's like having a Photoshop wizard in your pocket. Okay, and for the video creators out there, this phone shoots 4K video at 60 frames per second.
Whoa, that's pro-level stuff right there.
Yeah.
And TechWise Corner said the stabilization is superb. So smooth, professional-looking videos, even if you're, like, running around filming.
I know, right? Now, the question on everyone's mind, battery life. It has a 400 and 385 milliamp battery.
Okay, that sounds, like, big, but, in real-world terms, does it last?
Well, TechWise Corner put it through the ringer and said it easily lasted a full day, even with, heavy use. Streaming, gaming, all that good stuff.
So no need for battery anxiety with this one. Yeah. Although, one thing I did notice, the fast charging is 18W, which, it's not bad, but there are phones out there that are way faster.
Yeah, that's true. It's not the speediest charger in the world. But hey, it does have wireless charging, which is always a nice bonus.
True. And, Google's adaptive battery is pretty smart. It learns your usage habits and optimizes things behind the scenes.
All right, let's talk security and privacy, because we all know Google takes this stuff seriously.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And they did not skimp on the 8A. It's got the Titan M2 chip, which is, well, it's like a security guard for your data.
Okay, in non-techie terms, what does that actually mean?
So imagine this chip is like a separate little vault inside your phone.
Yeah.
It stores all your super sensitive stuff, passwords, encryption keys, all that. And it makes it incredibly hard for anyone to, break in and steal your data.
So it's like Fort Knox for my phone. Got it.
Pretty much.
Uh-huh.
And then you've got your biometric login options too, right? Face unlock and under display fingerprint sensor.
Choice.
TechWise Corner seemed really impressed with the fingerprint sensor. Super fast, super reliable.
Nice. And of course, there's the security hub, which basically puts all your security and privacy settings in one place.
Love that. Easy to manage, easy to keep track of everything.
Okay, so far this phone is sounding pretty sweet, wouldn't you say?
I'm definitely impressed. It seems like Google's really trying to shake things up in the mid-range market.
They are, and they're doing a pretty darn good job of it.
All right, so before we move on, let me ask you this. What are you personally more drawn to in a phone? Is it the camera, performance, battery life?
Ooh, good question. I think for me, it's a balance of everything, but if I had to pick one,
I know, it's tough. It's like choosing a favorite child.
yeah,
But it's interesting to think about what we prioritize, right?
totally. And speaking of priorities, if you want the full rundown on the Pixel 8a, definitely head over to TechWise Corner. They've got all the details.
Solid advice. They always do a great job.
All right, folks, that's it for part one of our Pixel 8a deep dive.
Stay tuned. We'll be back soon with part 2 to really get into the nuts and bolts. You know, while we're on the subject of software, TechWise Corner was really geeking out about the Pixel 8a's commitment to software updates, like long term.
Oh, yeah. 5 years of security updates, minimum. That was a big deal to them.
It makes sense, though, right? I mean, those updates aren't just about security patches. They often bring performance improvements, new features. You know, it keeps your phone feeling fresh.
Yeah, it's almost like getting a free upgrade every few months. And speaking of cool upgrades, those Pixel-exclusive AI features are always so slick. I still can't believe how much I rely on call screen.
Right. It's like having a personal assistant for your phone calls. Hold for me is another one that's just like pure genius. No more listening to that awful hold music.
Life-changing, I tell you. Okay, but let's move on to the star of the show, that camera. 64 megapixels, ultra-wide lens, 10.8 on the selfie cam. What were your thoughts?
I mean, on paper, it's impressive. But TechWise Corner really stressed that the true magic is in Google's computational photography. It's not just about the megapixels, it's how the software uses AI to like enhance every aspect of your photos.
So even if you're not a pro photographer, you can still get incredible results.
Exactly. They were seriously blown away by Night Sight. Apparently, it can make photos in almost complete darkness look like they were taken in daylight.
Wow. And they also mention how much they appreciate real tone. Capturing accurate and inclusive skin tones is something that, not all phone cameras do well.
Yeah, it's awesome to see Google putting that kind of thought into it. And then there's Magic Eraser. That thing is still just so mind-blowing. Poof, and your photo bomber is gone.
It's like a magic wand for your pictures. Okay, so for the video folks out there, this phone can shoot 4K video at 60 frames per second.
Okay, stop. That's incredible. And with superb stabilization. Put into TechWise Corner. So no more shaky footage, even if you're on the move.
I'm sold. But okay, real talk. How's the battery life? Because the phone can have all the bells and whistles, but if it dies after a few hours, what's the point, right?
Right. Well, from what I read, the Pixel 8a's 4385 milliamp battery can easily handle a full day of, typical use. Even with some gaming and streaming. Of course, your mileage may vary depending on, how much you're using it. But it sounds pretty solid.
That's good to know. And while we did mention the 18W fast charging isn't the fastest out there, at least it does have wireless charging. So that's, a nice perk.
For sure. Plus, Google's adaptive battery thing is always working in the background, learning your habits, and optimizing battery use. It's kind of neat how it does that.
It is. Okay, let's dive back into security and privacy for a sec, because this is where Google always brings their A game. What stood out to you about the Pixel 8a's security features?
Well, the Titan M2 chip was definitely a big one. It's basically a dedicated chip that's just focused on security, like protecting your data.
Okay, I'm going to need you to, ELI5 on that one. What does that actually do for me?
Think of it this way. It's like a separate little fortress inside your phone where all your most sensitive data is stored. Passwords, encryption keys, that kind of stuff. It makes it way harder for hackers to get their hands on it.
So like an extra layer of protection.
Exactly. And then, of course, you've got your biometric options. Face and lock, under display, fingerprint sensor.
Lots of ways to keep those nosy folks out of your phone.
Right. And TechWise Corner said that the fingerprint sensor is crazy fast and reliable.
Nice. And then there's the Security Hub, which puts all your security and privacy settings right there at your fingertips.
Super convenient. Google's really making it easy to stay on top of your digital security.
They are. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Design, performance, camera, security.
We've been through a lot.
We have. So before we jump into the last part of our deep dive, I want to ask our listeners this. If you could pick one standout feature of the Pixel 8a, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Is it the camera, the battery, the software, the security? What really gets you excited about this phone?
Let us know. We're curious to hear what resonates with everyone.
All right, we're back, still geeking out over this Pixel 8a, but we got to talk storage and connectivity before we wrap things up.
Yeah, those are like the unsung heroes of a good smartphone experience.
Totally. So storage-wise, we're looking at 256 GB built in.
That's pretty decent. I mean, that's a lot of photos, videos, apps.
It is, but no expandable storage. So you're stuck with those 256 gigs.
Yeah. But you know what TechWise Corner pointed out? Cloud storage is kind of changing the game.
Right, like with Google Drive, Google Photos, all that stuff is basically an extension of your phone's storage now.
Exactly. And Google's all about that seamless integration. So backing up your stuff is super easy on the Pixel 8a.
Plus, don't forget, free unlimited photo storage with Google Photos.
Can't beat that. Though it is worth noting, the free storage comes with a slight, quality reduction.
Right.
Right.
You're trading a tiny bit of quality for all that free storage. But honestly, for most people, I don't think it'll even be noticeable. Yeah. Probably not a big deal for everyday pics and videos.
Okay, connectivity. It seems like there are new standards every year. What's the 8A rocking?
So first off, it's 5G capable.
Gotta have that 5G. So we're talking, crazy fast downloads, smooth streaming.
Oh yeah, 5G is a game changer for everything.
It is. And what about Wi-Fi? Is it up to speed there too?
Oh, absolutely. It supports Wi-Fi 6E, which is the newest, fastest, bestest Wi-Fi out there.
So even if you've got a house full of people online, everyone can still stream and game without any lag?
Pretty much. Plus, Wi-Fi 6E is more secure and has better range.
Sweet. Bluetooth.
Yep, 5.3. So best in class for connecting headphones, speakers, all that.
And I'm assuming it's got NFC for contactless payments.
Wouldn't be a smartphone without it.
Ah.
Back to pay, share files. It even works as a digital key for some stuff.
That's wild. Okay, so it's got all the latest and greatest connectivity-wise. TechWise Corner also gave a shout out to the dual SIM support.
Oh yeah, that's super handy for people who juggle multiple phone numbers, like one for work, one for personal.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've talked about all the awesome stuff. But let's be real, no phone is perfect. What are some of the downsides?
Well, we did talk about the whole telephoto lens thing. That's definitely a bummer if you're into zoom photography.
Yeah, that's the trade-off for the price, I guess.
Right. And the 18W fast charging is, it's fine. But there are definitely phones out there that charge way faster.
True. So if you're the type who needs a quick battery boost, this might not be the phone for you.
But overall, I think TechWise Corner really hit the nail on the head. It's a fantastic phone for the price.
Agreed. It's a solid all-rounder, and it seems like Google really knows what they're doing in the mid-range market.
They're definitely giving the other brands a run for their money.
For sure. Well, I think that just about wraps up our deep dive into the Google Pixel 8a.
We've covered a lot, from the design to the camera to the software. It's a pretty impressive phone.
It is. And a huge thank you to TechWise Corner for that in-depth review. If you guys want to learn even more, check out their website.
Always a great resource for all things tech.
All right, folks, that's it for today. But hey, the conversation doesn't have to end here. What do you think about the Pixel 8a? Let us know in the comments. And until next time, keep exploring.
Actually,